What is up, you guys? It is Breyonna, and today we're gonna sit down and test out a brand new Buxom collection, which is called White Russian. And I don't know about you guys, but normally I'm not into these types of collections because you guys know me, I like dark and dramatic smoky eyes. And this one, I don't know, it just really drew me in. I don't know if it's like the packaging, because girl, like this is beautiful. Like I want this eye look on my eyes as soon as possible because it kind of gives me like that girl next door type of vibe. Like, I love my dark and dramatic smoky eyes as well as colorful eye looks, but there's something just so simplistic and beautiful about this. Like, I kind of want to do something like that today. But also, like, this color story. Like, again, it's very neutral and very, you know, kind of like basic, but at the same time, it has like this elegant, romantic feel to it. And I thought we would try out this collection today because of it. So besides the eyeshadow palette, we do have 3 other items in this collection. We have this highlighter. I've never tried out Buxom highlighters before. I don't know if this is like a new formula or like what it is, but it is called a Waterless Glow Highlight. I wonder if it's gonna act like their blushes. Their Waterless blushes are one of my favorites. And we also have this bullet lipstick, which when I saw this color, like this is my kind of everyday shade. And we lastly have this little gloss right here. And again, this is in the shade White Russian. I wonder if they redid the White Russian shade because I remember it being like super crazy light, whereas this one is kind of like a mauvey baby pink almost. Now, before we test out this collection right here, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page or my TikTok, it is at Breyonna as well. And to prime my eyelids, I'm just going to go in with my ABH eye primer because you guys know like I'm obsessed with this stuff. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to apply it with this brush from Morphe. I wish I could find another one like it, but it's just like a big old flat brush. And I'm just going to tap it right into the skin onto my eyelid up to my brow. I have absolutely no idea what kind of eye look I want to do today. I just kind of like sat down and was like, hey, let's try out this collection. It's really pretty. But you know what? Let's go in with this really pretty dark brown color first. And this one is called After Dark. Ooh, baby, like she has some pigment. And I'm going to go in with this brush from ColourPop. It's an E28. It's like a little small pencil brush. And I'm just going to be applying it right into my crease. Kind of like mapping out almost like a cut crease in a way. But dang, like she has some pigment to her. And also, this shade right here is one of those ones where it's kind of like a matte with shimmer in it. So like in the pan it has like a slight sheen to it, but when applied I see absolutely none of it. But I mean, for a one dip, like that is a lot to it. So I'm just going to go in with a second layer, and man, like that is a pretty color. I will say though, like in the pan it looks like a chocolate brown, but when applied it looks like a brown black. So just keep that in mind if you do get this palette. And I'm also just kind of taking whatever's left on my brush and doing these like little circular motions to kind of like buff out this harsh line I made. I know this is going to sound really weird, but I'm going to go in with this kind of like satin shimmery shade called Smoke Show. It's the one right next to the dark brown that we just used. And I'm just going to be taking it on this Luna Magic little shader brush, and I'm just going to use it to buff out that chocolate brown. So I'm just applying it on the edge and then doing these like little circular motions to blend it upwards. And I'm also kind of like winging out this outer edge a little bit too. I haven't decided if I want to connect it or not yet though. Still kind of up in the air. Like I told you, like I have no plan right now. Shade's really, really pigmented. It's also like blending out like butter. You know, I might need to start trying out more Buxom eyeshadow palettes. Because I mean, like the pigmentation on these 2 shades so far is amazing. And I'm just going to go in with a little bit more, just to kind of build it up. You see what I mean though? Like they are buffing out like magic. Since I kind of lost the intensity of that dark brown, I'm just going to go in with whatever's left on my brush and kind of like reapply it a little bit. So to buff out those edges even further, I'm going to go in with this light brown matte shade called Decadent. I feel like that word is just a little too bougie for me. Like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes like those really like fancy, elegant words, like I just feel so awkward saying because it's like they just do not fit me as a person. But I'm just going to go in with this shade on this brush from BH Cosmetics. I think it is a number 6. Yep. It's from the Lavender Luxe set, and I'm just gonna literally use it to buff out this edge. Just to kind of like soften everything because, again, I do not want any chunkiness. Because these types of looks with chunkiness do not look cute. And I will say, like, first initial layer, it is kind of like a medium buildable. Which to me, that's a really nice type of formula for a transition shade. So I'm just going to go in with a second layer. Yeah, like it builds up really nice too. And I will say, like in the pan, it definitely looks a little bit more cool tone than it does applied. It's definitely like a light warm tone brown. And again, I'm just going to go in with a little bit more of that dark brown. This time I am going to be using additional product though, just to kind of bring back that intensity. So now we're going to cut the crease, and I just put a little bit of that ABH eye primer on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to take a tiny bit of it with this brush from Sigma. It's just a really fine liner brush. It's technically called an E10. And I'm just going to do like this like winged out shape. So what I'm going to do is take my mirror and look directly into it like straight forward, and then trace a little bit above my natural crease. And I like to do this with my eyes straight because I do have slightly hooded eyes. I'm just kind of doing something like this. And then when I get to this outer edge, I just follow right underneath my natural brow bone. You can kind of feel it if you have a brush right here. I'm going right underneath of it. You kind of want something like that. And once you have that line created, I'm just going to take a little bit more of that primer on this Anastasia number 18 brush. And I'm just going to now fill in underneath. So I'm just kind of like applying it to my lid. I swear I've been getting way more telemarketer calls right now, and it is so infuriating. Like, I wish I could just like put like an app on my phone or like put a setting where they can't call me, because I get this one where it's like a ship and it literally like sounds like a cruise ship horn and it's like really loud, and I just had that one and it absolutely startled me. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten that one too, but it is infuriating. Like, you'll just be sitting there enjoying yourself, relaxing, and then you open that call and it's like bam, loud cruise ship horn noise. Like, who even thought of that? So to set the lid, I'm just going to go in with this mid-tone shimmer shade called Reveal. I'm just going to be taking it on a flat shader brush and packing it all over my eye. Apparently, according to the palette, this should be the inner corner highlight. Because like on the back, it kind of tells you where to apply all the shades to do a really simple, pretty eye look. You know what? This is applying like a satin. I thought it was going to be a shimmer, so it's revealing that it is a satin and not a shimmer. And I mean, who doesn't want a blinding inner corner highlight? Like, don't get me wrong, like the shade's cute, but I just was assuming that it was going to be really sparkly. Oh yeah, like she is definitely a satin. I'm just going to go in with another layer. I mean, she's really pretty though, but it definitely has like that soft glam type of vibe to it. Yeah, I was expecting the shade to look a lot different. Again, I don't think it's bad. It's just not really what I was going for. You know, I'm a little curious, so we're going to go in with this shade next to Reveal, and it is called Indulge. So using a dampened brush, I'm just going to apply this in the outer third of my lid, because I just want to see if it's a little bit more sparkly. Oh yeah, now that is what I'm talking about. Again, it's more of like a natural shimmer, but it is way more shimmery than Reveal is. Like Reveal to me, like it is definitely like a very light satin, whereas this one, I'm indulging in. That was probably like the cringiest comment I could have made, hands down, but you know what? Sometimes the cringy comments are the best ones. I don't know about you guys, but I love a good cringy comment. But again, like, it's applying really pretty. I'm actually gonna kind of like bring it in maybe like halfway instead. I just love how it looks. And I actually thought I was gonna apply a lot darker than it is too. Like, it kind of looks like it's almost gonna be like a mid to deep type of shimmer shade. But it's definitely more of like a mid-tone when applied. Oh yeah, the more that I use this palette, it definitely screams like girl next door, soft yet sexy kind of feel. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it just like screams like model smoky eye to me. But off camera though, I am gonna like clean things up a little bit and like correct this shape a little bit. And I'm also going to apply like liner, lashes, my complexion products, all of that good stuff. And then afterwards, I'll be right back to finish up the look. So here's what I'm at right now after doing that all off camera, and I just want to put a little bit of blush on because I feel like my face just looks like really flat right now. So we're going to be going in with this darker mauve in the palette called New York. I'm kind of curious to see the formula of the blushes because their Waterless blushes are like really pigmented. So I'm just going to be taking it on this brush from ColourPop. It's an F31. And I'm just going to be applying it to the apple of my cheek and then right on top of my cheekbone. Okay, that is not as pigmented as the normal Waterless blushes, which I really appreciate because to me, like, they're a really good blush, but they're just almost like tricky to work with because they're just so pigmented. Whereas this one seems like it's a little bit more of like a medium buildable, which is definitely more my style. And I also love that color. Like, that is like an everyday shade for me. It's kind of like a mauvey pink. To me, it's that type of blush color that literally goes with any type of eye look and any lipstick. Like you can just pop it on and it just literally matches everything. So I'm just gonna go in with like a little bit more because I'm curious. Let's hope I don't look like a porcelain doll. Oh yeah, so you can definitely build it up if you want like a super blushy look. I'm also gonna hit like the tip of my nose too, for that e-girl little blushy nose moment. So on the back of the palette, it says to go in with Moscow on the top of the cheeks, so we're gonna do that. And again, I'm just gonna use the same brush. And I'm just gonna kind of like go on top of it, like more on my cheekbone. At first I thought this was maybe like a blush topper. So I feel like they said to put Moscow on top of New York to kind of like blend it into the skin a little bit better and maybe get like a softer look out of it. I don't know, I think like that combination though is really pretty. My lips though right now are looking so crusty. I had too much salt yesterday and I got like this weird like dry ring around them and it is infuriating and it is not cute at all. But before we go in with these, I'm just gonna go in with a lip liner. This one is from Koki and it is in the shade Dusty Rose. I don't know about you guys, but lately I have been obsessed with lip liner. I haven't used this one yet. Okay, that color though, beautiful. And also, it's like super pigmented. Okay, I cannot get over how pretty this lip liner is, and also the formula is like super creamy. By far one of the best lip liners I've ever used. But now we're going to be going in with the Full Force lipstick, again in the shade White Russian. I don't know why I said it's so weird, but I'm just going to apply it to the center. Just a little bit. Ooh, now that is a pretty color combination. That lip liner color pairs so beautifully. I will say though, for a lipstick, like it is super, super creamy, so you might want to be a little bit careful with how you apply it. Like you won't want to use too much because it might get on your teeth. But just like a little bit in the center though is like the perfect amount. So for the lower lash line, I'm just going to mix Decadent and Smoke Show and do like a 1-to-1 ratio. And then apply it to the lower lash line. And I'm doing this, I'm doing back and forth motions, and I'll be honest, like that is a little too light, so I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of After Dark, that really dark brown. And kind of like mix it in a little bit. Because I want the lower lash line to be a little bit smoky, but not too much at the same time. So I'm going to do this kind of out of order because I'm not too sure if I want to use a highlighter or not in the inner corner. But we're going to be going in with this one again on the face. It is called the Waterless Glow Highlighter. It almost looks like it's going to be too dark for my skin tone, but I'm not sure yet. But I'm just going to be taking it on this brush from Morphe. What are you called? An M448. And I'm just going to be applying it right onto the top of my cheekbones. And this smells identical to the Waterless blushes if you've ever used those. Like it has like that tropical scent. But man, like that is such a pretty highlight. Like it's kind of like a softer highlight. Like it's not like a sheer highlight, nor is it like extra blinding. It's kind of like right in the middle. And it also has like this really pretty kind of like pink hue to it. Kind of almost gives me like blush topper vibes in a way. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it just makes your skin look, you know, kind of like dewy. This is definitely what I would consider an everyday highlight. So if you're somebody that doesn't like super blinding highlights and you want like a little bit of something something, you'll probably really like this one. I hope that they start making more shades in this formula though, because it's really pretty. Like, that is probably one of my favorite, more natural highlights I've ever used. I'm not too crazy about the color though. I wish it was a little bit more champagne pink than, you know, like a lighter baby pink. It's still really, really pretty. I'm just gonna throw this baby everywhere because, I mean, like, why not? More highlight, the better. So I'm just gonna take this cute little fan brush and pop a little bit right underneath my brow. Oh yeah, like this is gonna be one of my new favorite highlights. Because again, like it's glowy, but not too glowy. So now we're going to be doing the inner corner highlight, but I'm first going to be going in with this matte kind of like pinky bone shade in the palette called Take a Dip. Because I just kind of want to brighten up this inner corner first. So I'm just going to be taking it on this brush from Profusion. It is an ES4. It's just like a little domed eyeshadow brush for the crease. And I'm just going to be popping this in the inner corner just to help kind of like brighten it up a little bit. This is a matte shade though, there's no shimmer in it. And then using that same brush, I have just a little bit of that highlighter on it, and I'm popping it in that inner corner. I'm also kind of bringing it underneath the inner tear duct, just a little bit. But yeah, like that is a very natural inner corner highlight for me. Normally I like it like super blinding, but I feel like this fits the vibe a little bit better. And then the last product that we have out of this collection is this lip gloss. It is called the Full On Plumping Lip Cream, and again, its shade is White Russian. And like the packaging is so pretty, but I will say my favorite thing about Buxom lip glosses, this is kind of weird, but they make the perfect popping noise. I mean, like, hear this. Like, it is amazing. Oh, it smells really good too. Kind of has like a sugary sweet type of scent. And I'm just going to apply it kind of like in the center. I don't want too much gloss. I'm just kind of like focusing it kind of towards my Cupid's bow. And then in the center right here. Because I do not want to worry about getting lip gloss or like lipstick on my teeth today. I feel like this is my kind of everyday glam. Like, it's really pretty, it's super soft, but at the same time it has like a sprinkle of spice with the cut crease. But let's talk about all of the products that we used today, because girl, we did use a lot. And first of all, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, because again, it is so beautiful. I love the packaging. To me, the packaging of this just screams elegant and, you know, something that you could put on display. Like, it's just really pretty. And also what I really like about the packaging, and something I didn't really mention that much beforehand, is on the back, it tells you how to use the eyeshadows as well as the blushes. So like, for instance, like Take a Dip, that bone shade, it says you can use it underneath your brow bone. It says that Indulge is for the lid. So if you're somebody that wants to do this type of eye look on the packaging, or if you're new to makeup and you don't know where to start, I think it's really helpful. So let's talk about the formula of the palette. I will say again, none of the shadows in here gave me any issues. Like, they were very easy to work with and blend out. Like, if you're a beginner, I don't think you're gonna struggle with any of the shades in here. But I will say some of the shades in here are more pigmented than others. Like, some of them are very intense and other ones are a little bit more on the buildable side. So case in point, like this really dark chocolatey brown in here called After Dark. This one is extremely pigmented, by far the most pigmented shade in this palette. So you have to be a little bit careful with it, but at the same time, it buffs out like butter. But I feel like they probably made it a little bit more pigmented so people could use it as a liner. And also this shade right next to it called Smoke Show, this is another one that's really pigmented. As for the buildable shades, definitely this more like transition shade. This one is called Decadent, the matte one. This one, again, does have a buildable formula, but you can build it up to the intensity that you want. It just takes about 2 to 3 layers, which I don't think is bad. Another one that's a little bit more on the buildable side is this one called Take a Dip, the bone color, which I actually really appreciate because I like to use these types of shades underneath the brow bones, so I don't want them to be like super pigmented, but again, it's kind of like a personal preference type of thing. And lastly, this shade called Reveal, that one again is kind of like a satin. And if you want it to be like super intense and super pigmented, again, you're looking at about like 2 to 3 layers. So it's not like you have to build it up a lot. It's just if you want like a super pigmented palette, you might not be happy with all of the shades in here. As for the blushes in this palette, they are beautiful. I love the color of both of them. I think they fit the feel of the whole collection. And what I like about them too is the finish, because it's kind of like a natural satin finish, so it's not like super shimmery, it's not 100% matte, it's like right in between, and it just makes your skin look beautiful. And also the formula of both of the blushes is a medium buildable, so you can build it up to the intensity that you want. Personally, I do prefer a medium buildable. I find that it is so much easier to work with, and if you have any like oopsies, it's super easy to correct. Whereas with the Waterless blushes from Buxom, they're just almost a little too pigmented in my opinion. Like again, a beautiful blush, but if you apply too much, it's really hard to correct them. Like I low-key wish that the Waterless blushes had this formula right here because it is that good. As for the Full Force lipstick, I really like it. I will say though, it's kind of like one of those lipsticks that's almost too creamy, so you have to be a little bit careful when you apply it. It's definitely one of those ones I would say less is more, but again, like the color, gorgeous. Love it. Feels amazing on the lips, and also if you like plumping lip products, this one does have like a slight minty feel to it. If I'm keeping it real though, I don't think that it gives me a plumping effect to the lips, it just feels kind of tingly. As for the full-on gloss, again, love the color, love the packaging. It's a really beautiful product. And if you're like me and you hate sticky gloss and you hate ones that get like goopy and tacky on the lips, you will really like Buxom's formula if you've never tried it. And if you're into plumping products, this one does have like a slight minty feel to it like the lipstick does. But again, like I have really sensitive skin and sensitive lips, and these ones do not like irritate the skin or anything along those lines for me. It's just kind of like if you were to chew gum, or if you take like a little bit of Listerine, like that minty feel that you have in your mouth. Like if you take that and put it on your lips, that's how it feels. As for the highlighter, oh my gosh, like I am obsessed with the formula of this. I really hope that Buxom does more in this formula because it is amazing. Like, people raved about the blushes. I can see this being another cult classic because it is just absolutely stunning on the skin. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the color on me because it's kind of like a baby pink. I wish it was like a pink champagne instead or something a little bit more on the icy side. But aside from that, it looks absolutely gorgeous on the skin. Like, it kind of has like that glow from within type of look to it. Like, it has a pretty look to it, but it's not like super like intense for a highlighter either. It's kind of like right in the middle between a subtle highlight and something that is like super intense. So when it comes down to it, would I recommend this collection to you guys? And honestly, I really like it. You know, going into it, I was like, oh, you know, the packaging is really cute, but I'm not too sure if I'm gonna like love it or not because I'm one of those people, I definitely prefer dark smoky eyes and colorful eye looks over soft neutral ones. But let me tell you, I could see this collection being like an everyday favorite for me. Like, this type of look right here is definitely what I consider my everyday glam, and I just think it turned out beautiful, and I really love every product that we used today. And if I'm keeping it real, like, none of the colors are revolutionary, but the formulas are fantastic, so if you're interested in it, I think you're gonna be really happy with it overall. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this look right here, and also let me know what collection I should review next on my channel. But as always though, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page or my TikTok, it is at Breyonna as well. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!